This is going to be fun. So, Catherine Murray, if you would take the stage. Thank you very much.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Alright, so just a quick warning, this slideshow might make you hungry. If you haven't had dinner yet, I sincerely apologize. So, we're going to wait till the next slide, because the next slide's my real one.
You can start.
You have to hit it to make it go to the next one. Alright. So, now raise your hand if you've ever photographed your food. Yeah, that's what I thought. We're not just enjoying our food anymore, we're documenting every single bite. It's no longer pictures of your kids or pretty flowers. We're all about the food. And everyone has a food blog these days. There are hundreds of food blogs in Columbus alone. Some are about growing and cooking your food at home, like Hounds in the Kitchen, and some focus on restaurant reviews, like Breakfast with Nick, who are both Pecha Kucha alumni. Consumers are seeking out more and more information about their food. Columbus has 3 magazines dedicated to food and a bunch of other magazines that feature food. If you look on your Facebook page right now, you'll see how many food photos pop up. Food is the connector between people. From small talk to philosophical debates, especially when discussing the best pizza in town, food is something everyone can be a part of. If you Google food blogs, you'll get 937 million results. If you haven't seen Keg Crux, you should really get out your phone right now. It's totally worth it. There's even a site dedicated to cute food. Twitch reviews restaurant dishes, while Taste Spotting lets you share recipes and photos. There's a site out there for every type of foodie. We've even coined the term food porn to describe people's obsession with photographing and looking at photos of food. South Park did an episode all about food porn. So, I'm guilty of not just photographing food for a living, but for fun too. I've been known to pass my camera around the table at dinner and make my friends photograph their meals. One of my friends even threatened to skewer me with a fork if I didn't let him devour his food. It's not about capturing the food, but about remembering the family, friends, and moments attached. Food is really the original social network. So why do companies hire professional food photographers like me when there are already millions of photos at their fingertips? Well, on the left are amateur photos from a random caterer's website, but on the right are photos that I took for local caterers Blue and Fig. The photos on the left might document the event, but do they make you want to be there munching on their food? My job is to make you crave what you see and make sure it looks as good as it tastes. And you might think that building a large stack of mashed potatoes would be easy, but just watch Richard Dreyfuss try to do it in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. They end up expanding horizontally instead of vertically, so instead I used a soda bottle as a base and melded the mashed potatoes around it. And photographers are constantly battling the elements, whether it's wind, rain, snow, or heat. Ironically, this shot of Sunny Street Cafe was done on a cloudy, snowy, dark winter's morning, and it was windy the day I shot the lobster bisque, and my napkins kept blowing away, and my equipment wouldn't stay still. Commercial photographers often have to work out of season for the advertising to go out of press on time, so Christmas cookies are photographed in May, and Easter eggs are shot in December. Finding Christmas lights, fake grass, and fresh fruit in the crack season are easy, but finding it in the off-season can be a full-time job in itself. It's true that timing is everything. Motion is one of the hardest parts of photography. And Pecha Kucha. It's what causes all of your concert photos to be blurry. So when it comes to food, you have to have the ability to freeze a moving subject or create a pleasing blur that shows motion. This honey shot turned from photogenic into a huge mess in less than 15 seconds. Food wilts, melts, browns, and congeals really fast, and then your shot is gone. You have to know how to either shoot really quick or bring the food back to life through tricks like adding water droplets, using a blowtorch, and fluffing with skewers and toothpicks. So up until a few years ago, beets were a forgotten vegetable, but somehow they made a comeback and it was up to photographers to sell it to the public in a new way. So how do you make beets not look like your grandmother's canned beets? You cut them into heart shapes and you call them heartbeats. Adding modern colors and a different arrangement or a silly idea can save a shoot from looking unfavorably old-fashioned. And we've all seen photos of peeps and ads since we were kids, but when the client says, I need something modern but rustic, warm, playful, and family-friendly, the photographer has to come up with a way to combine them all together into one frame. Photography is really about finding the perfect everything. We spend countless hours brainstorming the perfect shot and then going out and finding the pieces that make it happen. I've looked at hundreds of punch bowls, glasses, spoons, fabrics, plates, and trays. From the color of the flowers to the size of the glass, everything has to work together to create the perfect image. And it's true that what you see is not always what you get when it comes to food photography, but you should really thank us for it. We crave pizza because of that fantastic, melty, stringy cheese that hangs off the side, but it turns out that hanging cheese doesn't happen the way that we think it does. Like, go ahead, take a look the next time you pick up a slice. The photographer or the stylist has to really recreate what we imagine happens. And just like Goldilocks, clients can be notoriously picky. It's either too much or not enough, so we're always looking for the just right. Being exact can be difficult, but making random look good is even harder. Stacks of fruit need to have the stems facing certain directions and without too many tangents or spaces in between. So in fashion, you need to know the correct way to tie a tie, but in food photography, there are correct ways to present food, or in other words, food etiquette. Cornish game hens are supposed to be shot with legs up, and tuna should have the correct sear. And all those little things make the difference between a good shot and a great shot. Now, sometimes you have to create the fire the old-fashioned way, in Photoshop. Some things just aren't possible in camera due to time constraints or lack of resources. In this instance, it was a hot day and a fire would have made it even hotter, so starting a fire takes time, flames are unpredictable. We decided to Photoshop a fire would be the better choice. Photography isn't so much about documenting, but creating a mood, a look, and an experience. Taking a 2D cake that has no taste, sound, or smell attached and making you want to eat the page, or in this case the screen, is what food photography is all about. Thank you.
All right. In terms of